Hello, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to practice on how to constructing a confidence interval for a proportion. A poll asked 166 adults in the US whether they were basketball fans. 46% say that they were, constructing a 99 confidence of interval for the true proportion of the US adults that are basketball fans and interpreters. So the first part is in order to construct the confidence of interval for the proportion, we want to know if I can apply for proportion first. We need to use the central limit theorem. Independence, check randomization, we check this one, success and the failure condition. So for the success, we have totally m p hat n is equals to 166 times p hat is 0.46. This is going to be greater than or equal to 10. And for the failure condition, which is 166 times 0.54. Again, this also is greater than or equals to 10. So that means the third condition check. So now we can assume that this is satisfy the condition for the sample proportion. Now, in order to construct a confidence of interval, we know that the formula is p hat plus or minus z-score times square root of p hat times q hat divided by n. Okay, we need to find p hat first. P hat is 0.46 plus or minus z-score. Since it is 99% of confidence of interval, we're trying to construct that, then the z-score, by what we found earlier in the previous lecture video, is 2.5758. And now we plus or minus 2.5758 times the standard error, which is 0.46 times q hat. Q hat is equals to 1 minus the p hat, which is 1 minus 0.46. That is equal to 0.45. So you sample 166 adults. So after you calculate that, I have 0.46 plus or minus. You want to calculate whatever inside the square root first. You will get 0.03868. During the calculation, especially when you're doing homework in My Open Math, you want to keep as detailed solution as possible. Now I have 0.46 plus or minus multiplication first, which is 0.0996. We can round this up to 0.1. So I have a 0.6 plus or minus 0.1. We can round this up, or you can just keep it as detailed as possible. That's also fine. So that means the confidence of interval for the lower bound is going to be 0.46 subtract 0.1, which is 14.5%. For the upper bound, oh sorry, not 14.6%, is 13.6%. And then for the upper bound, it's going to be 0.46 at 0.1, which is 56%. So now we need to write it in the sentences. We want to write a conclusion in sentences. We are 99% sure or certain or confident that the true or all US adult, that is the population proportion, are basketball fan. oh, sorry, I'm 99% confident that 36% to 56% of all, I should do it better with my wording, of all US adults are basketball fans. So now this part contains three things. One, the level of confidence. Second, the range, which is 36% to 56%, and the population proportion, all the US adults. Okay, what about constructing an 18% confidence of interval? So, since we already checked the central limit theorem, we can just apply it here. Now, since it's 80% confidence of interval, that means we need to look up the z-score for the 18% of confidence of interval from our previous exercise, which is 1.2816. So we're going to do the same thing to construct the confidence of interval plus or minus the z-score times the standard error p hat q hat over the sample size. So I have 0.16 plus or minus 1.2816 times the confidence of interval standard error. What do we get in previous? 0.03868. By calculation, we get 0.6 plus or minus 5%. So that means the confidence of interval, it will be 41% to 51%. So now we need to construct we need to write down our conclusion. We are 80% sure that 41% to 51% of the US adults are basketball fans. Okay, now let's compare these two. What happened to the size of confidence interval? The more certain you are, which means the higher confidence of interval. So now let's take a look. On the upper case, you are 95% of confidence of interval. Your range is Your range is 36% to 56%. When you're 80% sure, your range is become 40% to 51%, 41% to 51%. So that means the more certain you are, the interval, the confidence interval is bigger, or the range is bigger. What happened to the size of confidence interval is less certain? So that means the interval or the range is smaller. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next lecture.